Hello students, today we are doing a new topic in chapter number 1, collection of data. Now first of all, what we have done in last lectures, that we must have a knowledge. So simple, in collection of data, first introduction of statistics was there. Then after statistic definition, right? Now, even what is data, what is primary data, what is secondary data, that all the things we have discussed in last lectures. And I know one work is given to all of you. That was difference between primary data and secondary data that you have to read from textbook. I know all of you have read that all things. Now going ahead and doing best topic, and that topic, how to collect data. We know what is primary data, we know what is secondary data, but now how primary data can be collected, that we are seeing in this lecture. So starting with methods of collecting primary data. How we can collect primary data? Sir, there is three things. See, first, direct inquiry, first method. Second one, sir, indirect inquiry. And third one, sir, method of questionnaire. By these three ways, we can collect primary data. Primary means basic data, direct data. Now, we are seeing in detail what is direct inquiry, what is indirect inquiry, what is questionnaire. These all the things we need to discuss today. So, don't worry, be happy. All the things are very easy and all of you know about these things. Nothing new. But don't know this is statistics. So, going ahead, please see. So, first of all, discussing first method, direct inquiry. So, what is meant direct? Directly go to person and ask questions and write answers given by that particular person. Direct inquiry. For that, you have to directly go to that particular person from whom we need information. Giving some example. How many students are in 9th standard? For that, you have to go to 9th standard. Ask monitor, how many students in your class? Sir, 57. Then okay. For that, you have to go to that class. It means direct inquiry. Go directly there and collect data. Primary. Now here, sentence written. Understood. Investigator himself. It means, suppose I want to collect data. It means I himself going in the class, then asking how many students in the class. Investigator, me, myself going in the class and collecting data. So first thing, investigator himself, or so second situation, an enumerator appointed. You can say expert appointed. Instead of enumerator, we can say expert. So expert appointed for particular collection of data for survey. Because sometimes there is possibility I cannot go each and everywhere. For that I am appointing persons, and that persons are expert to collect the data and giving them work. go and collect data. For that, I have to give remuneration to them. I have to give money to them. I have to give salary to them. But they are working on behalf of me. So this word is somewhat hard, so you can use expert also. So again, repeating, try to understand, please. Investigator himself, it means person who need data, that person himself going, or an enumerator appointed by him, expert appointed by him, visits personally to field. Personally, that person going to field and collecting data, himself or appointed expert person going there and collecting data. It means direct inquiry, directly go to field and collect the data. Simple ones are nothing else. Again, I am repeating one thing. Here, whatever written is in short. What you have to do? All of you know. You have to read from textbook in very detail. All of you are. Now, going ahead. So, this is my work of area. So, what is direct inquiry? That all of you clear. I am definitely sure. Now, again, sir, everywhere, whatever work is there, that is the limitation, that is the advantages. Both are in each and every one. Here also, direct inquiry has some advantages, some disadvantages also. So first of all, what are the advantages of direct inquiry? So see, sir, first advantage, accurate and reliable. If I am going himself and collecting data, that must be accurate. And I can believe on that. It is reliable because I have collected data myself. Even if I am appointing some persons, then that person working on behalf of me, they are collecting as per my instruction. Even accurate and reliable data we can get. Sometimes possibility is there, if he is not working properly, experts are not working properly, then maybe there is the possibility of misunderstanding or wrong data can be collected. That may be possible. But if field of inquiry is very wide, then we have to appoint some expert for collecting data. There is no choice. And that's why accurate and reliable data can be obtained. That is the limitation if he is not working properly. Now going ahead, second one, can solve any question doubt. Now sir, what it means, can solve any question and doubt? So, suppose I am going on the field and collecting data. Some person is not willing to give me answer, or some person is asking some other questions, then I can solve their query immediately because I am face to face with them. Here also, we are meeting in live lecture. After this lecture, we are meeting in live lecture. In that live lecture, face to face, we are talking with each other. And at that time, we are solving our query. Why query can be solved? Because we are live, face to face, we are direct with each other. But whenever you are seeing this lecture on YouTube, at that time you cannot ask me any question. So it is indirect. And whenever we are live, it is direct. And when we are live, can solve any question and doubt. Simple. So that is the advantage. If we are collecting direct, we are collecting data by direct inquiry. At that time, doubt and questions can be solved easily. So two things. First, accurate and reliable because we have collected data himself or our experts collect data. Second thing, solve questions and doubt of persons from whom we are collecting data. Third one, sometimes get supplementary information also. Now supplementary information means what? Suppose I am going to 9th standard class, asking how many students are there. Then monitor told me 57 students. Now he is a monitor. If I am saying how many students are above 80% marks, and he can see me. So my actual target is what? How many students in the class. But with that, other information also I am getting. What it is? How many above 80% marks? How many between 50 to 80? How many less than 50% marks? That also I can collect very easily. So sometimes get supplementary information. It means supplementary information means which information I need. With that information, other related information also I can get. So that is advantage that I can get very easily. Going ahead, better when field is limited. Now direct inquiry, where is better? When limited field is there, vast field is there. If vast field is there, then we cannot go to directly each and every places. And if we are going there, then expense of inquiry is high. We have to spend more money. We have to spend more money for that. And that's why it is a expensive. If this direct inquiry is expensive, when field of inquiry is very vast. So when field of inquiry is limited, then this method is better. No problem. Going ahead. Respondents are unwilling to give information, even can get information. Suppose respondent is not ready to give any information to me. So I can explain my objectives, I can explain my views, and then can get information. Because I am face to face. Sometimes in live lecture, what we are doing? Nobody is ready to speak in live lecture. Then what I am doing? Remember what I am doing? Yes, sir, definitely. I am asking, talk with me, don't worry. If your answers are wrong, don't worry about it. I am ready to explain you in detail. So, because we are face to face, because we are direct, unwilling to give information. You are not willing to give information to me. You are not ready to talk with me. But whenever I am explaining, whenever I am clearing all the things, then even I can get information from you. So that is the advantage of direct inquiry. So what is direct inquiry? Directly going and collecting data by me or my expert. Their advantages, these are the advantages. Simple. Now disadvantage. Which are the disadvantages that we have already discussed? Just need to read. More time and persons are required. Simple. If field is vast, more time required, more persons are required, more experts are required, more enumerator are required. All the things within, all the things are same. Expert, person, enumerator, same. So more time required, more expensive, money, more expensive. That is disadvantage. Less reliable. So less reliable. Here written reliable. Here less reliable. But why? Please. Less reliable if the enumerator are untrained. If expert is not proper, then less reliable. So less reliable only and only because enumerator untrained. If all the enumerator are trained properly and genuinely working, then 100% reliable and accurate. So this advantages, limitation of direct inquiry, and this method is for what? Collection of data by direct inquiry is for primary data collection. First time I am collecting data is called primary data. Going ahead. Now sir, here indirect inquiry. So what is indirect inquiry? Indirect means I am not directly going to fill. The person who have already collected, suppose I have collected my primary data, right? That information to me. Now indirect means I am not going, but what I am doing? Information obtained from third party. Information obtained from third party instead of enumerator. I am not collecting data. My expert is not collecting data, but I am appointing some institution for collecting data. But yes, that institution working for me only. They have already collected, then giving me data. No. Again, I am repeating. Suppose there is that type of situation was there, then what is the situation? Think, sir, it becomes secondary data. If that particular person has already collected data and that data I am collecting, then that data becomes secondary data for me. But no, this is not that type of situation. Indirect inquiry means I himself not going, even my experts are not going. I am giving work to whom? Some particular institution for collecting data. Appointing institution, and that institution work for me, and as per my choice they are collecting data and providing me. That is indirect inquiry. Not I am going, not my expert going for collecting data. And that's why third party, instead of enumerator, third party going and collecting data and providing me the data. Now again sir, there is also advantages and disadvantages. Now which are the advantages? First, suitable when the field is wide. Simple. When field is limited, then this data is possible. Collecting data is direct inquiry is possible. But when data is wide, then we have to use indirect inquiry method. Because there are some institutions who are working for collecting data only. In one institution, Millward Brown, I was working in that company also. And their work is also for collecting data. And I had work for collecting data related to cold drink and soft drink. Which cold drink generally used by public? And that survey I had done in Baroda. So there are many companies who are working for collecting data only. So going ahead. So suitable when field is very wide. Second thing, respondent not willing to give information. Same, when respondent is not willing to give information to me, then I am appointing some other institution. Please go and collect data. Then it becomes very easy. Less cost, time and energy. Simple. If I have to do work, I am appointing enumerators, then their cost is high. But if I am appointing some institution, so I don't have to appoint any person. that institution have to manage all the things. So comparatively, in compared to direct inquiry, indirect inquiry is less costly. Going ahead, useful to various departments of government. This inquiry is very useful for government departments. Very useful for government departments. That's it. These are the advantages. Going ahead, disadvantages. Sir, which are disadvantages? Which are disadvantages? If individual organization have prejudice and a biased attitude, then that is the limitation. If individual or organization have prejudice or a bias attitude. Now sir, what it means? Prejudice, bias means what? In our routine life also, we are aware about these things. Sometimes in your class itself, some student is speaking, then we are telling he is always speaking a lie. Even he is speaking true, but his impression always speaking lie. And that's why, because of this prejudice, we are assuming he is always speaking lie. Simple. Sometimes we have prejudice. This person is the best person. He cannot do anything wrong. That is also prejudice. Suppose organization whom I have given work, if he is in prejudice or bias situation, at that time, wrong information can be collected. Because that institution, what they are thinking, cold drink and soft drink is the norm. Suppose my example, I was doing work for cold drink and soft drink data collection, and that institution have some prejudice. Cold drink and soft drink all are generally drinking in summer season. That is their prejudice, and they are giving data as per that prejudice and giving data to particular company, and that data may be wrong. They are writing all are drinking Pepsi, all are drinking Coca-Cola as per prejudice of particular organization. Then wrong data can be received. That is the limitation. So if that wrong data when we are receiving, if that organization is prejudiced or biased. Going ahead, second one, provider dishonest. If provider is dishonest, inefficient, or unable to provide correct information, information provider is not honest, is not efficient, is not ready to give provide information, then also we are not getting proper information, correct information. Sir, is it a limitation? Even here also, if respondent not giving correct answer, then what we can do? If you are going to 9th standard class and you are collecting data, how many students, instead of 50, he tell you 45, then what we can do? Actually, it is not a limitation, but okay. For getting marks, these two are the limitation. Don't worry. We have to write it. Answer, last one, an important one for examination. Method of questionnaire. Now, sir, what is questionnaire? Method of questionnaire means what? Actually, I want to clear one thing. For direct and indirect inquiry also, this questionnaire is needed. Questionnaire means what? Questionnaire means number of questions in sequence. First question, name. Second question, related to their particular area. Third question, related to our queries, our questions, answer what we need. So these are the number of questions in one form, that is questionnaire. Even whenever you are opening an account in banks, then also you are getting questionnaire. Write your name, write your address, write your phone number, which type of account you need to open. That is also one type of questionnaire in which we are filling our answers. So questionnaire means questions, bunch of questions in one paper. Now that we have to prepare and then going for direct inquiry or indirect inquiry. But here third point is given, method of questionnaire. Okay, we have seen third point. But actually this is the first step, then after this two is possible. So now questionnaire. We are preparing bunch of questions, and that bunch of questions we are sending by post, first method. Or second, we are sending our enumerator for collecting data. So two possibilities are there. That questionnaire by post we are sending to particular person. That particular person giving answers and sending us. So it becomes easy to collect data. Very easy to collect data. So very easy to collect data when we are giving it in the post to particular person's home, and from home they are giving answers, writing answers, and then send back to us. So by post we can collect proper information. Second, sir, by enumerator. My expert going for collecting data, direct inquiry, one type of direct inquiry and collecting data. So sir, again, advantage and disadvantage of both. Sir, advantage. By post, what is the advantage? Useful when field is vast. Simple. Because when field is very vast, at that time, this is very important. Simple and less expensive. So less expense, only posting expense is there. And simple. Just post, other person received that information form, filling the information form, then send back to us. Simple. Get information even where difficult to reach. Somewhere very difficult to reach. Somewhere very difficult to reach. At that time, post is very easy to send and getting information. So this is the advantages. Now sir, disadvantages. Sometimes there is a possibility person is not giving answer. Then what we can do? Somewhere that person is not understanding our question and blank form send back. There is also possibility. So respondent are illiterate. Suppose he is illiterate, non-cooperative, then we cannot get proper information. Blank, incorrect information provided, maybe blank information, blank. Nothing is written in form, and that is sent back. Maybe possible. Loss or delay to get information. Sometimes our form lost, maybe delay in getting information because some person is not ready to give answers, or lazy persons, they are giving answers after some time. Then what we are doing? In particular time period, we are not getting answers. Maybe possibility of it is the possibility of misinterpretation of questions. Sometimes that person cannot understand our question and misinterpreting and giving as per that situation answer. At that time also, that is the limitation, because nobody is there to explain each and everything. Now for that, what we have to do? We have to appoint enumerator. If enumerator is there, then what will be the situation? Sir, that person explaining about each and every question and then asking each and every answer and write it in. So complete and correct information can be get by enumerator. Same like this. Get information by giving explanation. Explanation given and getting the information. That is also easy in this situation. Full information is received, not blank information received. Full information is more reliable because enumerator going himself and collecting data. So these are the advantages. Last one, sir, disadvantages. Difficult to get expert. Now this much experts I cannot find. Maybe possibility is there. Accountant state you can learn from me and other teachers also. Each and every teacher, each and every person is same topics explaining, but explanation ways are different. Experts are experts, and that experts to get, that is very difficult. Cost increase, yes sir. Cost of collecting data increase. Difficult to give training. To give training to all the enumerators. That is very difficult. Difficult in wide area. If area is very wide, then more enumerators required, more trainings required, more time to collect data. Difficult to finish within the stipulated time. If area is wide and difficult to finish within time. Suppose some persons are not ready to give answer in particular time. So we have to get appointment. Sir, when I can meet you? Suppose he is giving time 9 to 10 p.m. Then I have to go on that time. And sometimes they are not giving appointment. After 1 month, after 2 months, they are giving appointment. Then what? We are not getting information in time. So there is the possibility of that situation. In this way, primary data can be collected. Most important topic is method of question. And simple thing. After preparing question bunch only, we can do direct or indirect inquiry. Otherwise, nothing is possible. But yes, here information given in this way. So we have to remember in this way, direct inquiry, indirect inquiry, and method of question. But as per Kamal sir's concept, this is the first one. Then after direct and indirect is first one. For direct inquiry, for indirect inquiry also they have to prepare questionnaire. For indirect inquiry, direct inquiry also they have to prepare questionnaire. Simple. So I am confident all the things are clear. Meet you in next lecture with different topic. Bye bye.